Okay, so welcome to Unit 3, a live discussion. This will be a pretty quick and short discussion this week, but I wanted to get this out there and get this recorded. So our learning objectives for, let me make sure I'm recording here. Okay, we're good. Our learning objectives for this week are we're going to take a look at retrieving, sort, aggregate, and group data from a database using SQL commands and queries. We're going to define and apply simple compound conditions, operators, clauses, columns, and queries, and explain and use joins to join tables and retrieve data from multiple tables. So this week we're looking at joining tables together and retrieving the data from multiple tables. Also, we're going to take a look at use operators and queries and to query multiple tables. We're going to define and perform set, union, intersection, and differences, and especially inner join, outer joining product operations. So let's take a review of the first PowerPoint session. So let me open this up. So objectives for this is we're going to retrieve data from a database using SQL commands. We're going to use simple and compound conditions and queries. We're going to use between like and in operators and queries. And we're going to use computer columns and queries. We're going to sort the data. Oh, go back one. Using order by, sort data using multiple keys, sending descending orders, use aggregate functions in a query, use subqueries. We're going to group data using a group by clause. We're also going to select individual groups of data using the having clause, and we're going to retrieve columns with null values. So what is a query? A query is basically a question represented in a way that the database management system can understand. You use the select command to create a query. Are there any special formatting rules? No, not really. You can also we're going to use the select from where. So what that means, we're going to select the column to include in the results from which table, where any condition to apply the data. The where clause is actually optional. So we're going to use select command to specify columns in our rows. Where clause needed because all customers are requested. And this is basically showing how to do this in an Oracle database, but we're going to be using SQL to do this. We're going to use an asterisk, which means indicate all columns in the select clause. Where clause is used to retrieve rows that satisfy a certain condition, some condition. This is a simple condition, the column name, comparison operator followed by either a column name or a value. You'll see the comparison operators, the equal, greater than, less than, equal to, less than. That's actually reversed. That should read greater than and less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. So that second row where it says less than, that should read greater than. And this shows you that SQL command. We're going to use compound conditions. Well, compound conditions, what they do is they connect two or more simple conditions with and, or, and not operators. We're going to use the between operator, which is used instead of an and operator, used when searching a range of values. So it makes a select command simpler to construct. It's inclusive. When using between 2,000 and 5,000, values of 2,000 or 5,000 would be true. We're going to use computed columns. So computed columns don't exist in the database, but it's computed using data in existing columns. For example, your arithmetic operations, minus, plus, minus for subtraction, times for multiplication, divided for division. This is an example. So select the customer number from the customer name with a credit limit minus balance from customer. So basically we're looking at the balance. We're looking at the customer's credit limit balance. And you'll see this done on your credit card statements all the time, or even online where they can provide you with available credit, which is basically taking the credit limit minus your balance and providing you with a balance, providing you with available credit. As clause assigns a name, using the like operator for pattern matching. Using the in operator, it's concise phrasing of or conditions. List of values in the in clause. This is sorting. By default, no defined order in which results are displayed. Use the order by clause, list data in a specific order. The order by clause, which is your sort key or key, column in which data is to be sorted. Ascending is the default sort order. You could sort it in descending order too. So some additional sorting options, major sort key and minor sort key. It's possible to sort by more than one key. Here this just shows in SQL minor sort key, descending order, major sort key. So we're sorting the credit limit by name, by descending order. So these are some aggregate functions. Find the average, the count, the max, the minimum, the sum. This is using the count function. Select count from item where category equals GM. So how many items did we count? Well, we counted 6. Sum function. This is used to calculate totals of columns. Columns must be specific and must be numeric. Null values are ignored. So if there's nothing, they're ignored. The distinct operator eliminates duplicate values used with the count function. This is how you nest queries. So it requires two or more steps, a subquery and an outer query. This is about grouping, which creates groups of rows that share common characteristics. This is using a having clause. Having versus where. Where limits the rows, having limits groups. Oh, you can, let me go back. You can use this together if the condition involves both rows and groups. Null value is null, is not null. It's a condition. Summary. So in summary, we create queries that retrieve data from a single table using the select commands. We're going to use the comparison operators. We're going to use compound conditions and not. We're going to use the between operator, and we're going to use the like operator. The in operator, the order by clause. We're going to use aggregate functions such as count, sum, average, max, and minimum. And we're going to use the distinct operator. Subqueries, we can group by having, and we're going to use null. So let me close this one out. So in addition this week, we're going to use joins to retrieve data from more than one table. We're going to use the in and exist operators to query multiple tables. We're going to use a subquery with a subquery. We're going to use alias. Let me go back one. We're going to join a table to itself. We're going to perform set operations. We're going to use the all and any operators in a query. We're going to perform special operations, inner join, outer join, and product. We're going to retrieve data from two or more tables. We're going to join tables. We're going to use the same commands as for single table queries. We're going to join two tables using the select clause, which lists all columns to display, and the from clause, which lists all tables involved in the query. And we're going to use where clause, which restricts to rows that have common values and matching columns. So select from where. So our query is going to ask us to select from which column to display, from what table, from where, with what rows and common values matching columns. This is just an example in Oracle, how to do that, run that SQL command. This is it in SQL. This is joining the order line in item tables. This is comparing joins in and exist. This is where you can join tables using the where and exist operators, the where clause, and the in operator. And this is using the exist operator. Correlated subquery. So if you notice in figure 5.7, the orders table listed in the from clause about, go back one, subquery, and you must qualify order number column in a subquery as orders, order, num. This is using a subquery within a query, subquery. Nested subquery is a subquery within a subquery. It evaluates from the innermost query to the outermost. So it means it starts in the innermost query and it goes to the outermost query. So more than one approach to formulating queries, and there's many database managers that have optimizers that analyze queries for efficiency. This is using a subquery within a subquery. Continue. If you notice in this diagram, it says the outer query is evaluated last, the immediate query is evaluated second, the innermost query is evaluated first. This is, oh, I flip back on me. This is using an alias. This is an alternate name for a table. It's used in the from clause. You can type the name of table, press spacebar, and then type name of alias. Allows for simplicity. Basically, if you start typing it, it adds it to your, it searches for that name. So if you say customer C, so that C is the alias. So how do you join a table to itself? This is called a self-join. It uses a different alias for the same table. It's used to compare records within one table. And you treat one table as two separate tables by using the alias. This is joining several tables. You take one pair of related tables at a time, indicate where clause the condition exists, include any additional conditions in where clause, and connect them with an AND operator. This is a union, which is the union of two tables. Is a table containing every row that is either the first table, the second table, or both the tables. Use union operators, and the tables must be union compatible. That is, the same number of columns and corresponding columns have identical data types and links. Intersection. No, go back one. And this is the intersection of two tables. Is a table containing all rows that are in both tables. It uses the intersect operator. So intersect is not supported by Microsoft Access, but it is supported by SQL. So you might have to use an alternate approach to this. What's the difference between set operations? What it does, it shows the difference of two tables is a table containing set of all rows that are in the first table, but not in the second table. It uses the minus operator. This is not supported by SQL Server and Microsoft Access. All in any. These are special operations called self-join, inner join, outer join, and product. So inner join compares the table in the from clause and lists only those rows that satisfy conditions in the where clause. There's a left outer join, which all rows in the table on the left listed first in the query will be included. And there's a right outer join, which is all rows from the table on the right, which will be included. And there's a full outer join, which includes all rows from both tables will be included regardless of the matches. The Cartesian product of two tables is the combination of all rows in the first table and all rows in the second table. You omit the clause to form a product. Okay, in summary, so we're going to join tables with the where clause. We're going to join tables with the in operator. We're going to join tables with the exist operator. A subquery can contain another subquery. We're going to use an alias to simplify SQL commands as well as self-joins. There is union, intersect, minus, all and any operators. There's the inner join and outer join, which is left, right, full. Full is everything. And there's a Cartesian product. So, apologize, this is kind of a quick overview of this, of Unit 3's lessons and work that's going to be done. A lot of good work submitted last week, which I have already graded. Please feel to reach out to me. I know it is the Easter weekend and some of you may be traveling, but I'm actually traveling myself. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me with an email, and I'll get back to you or post your question in the discussion board. So that concludes Unit 3 live discussion, and we'll talk to you next week.